What's good? What's good? You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene, powered by, I say with the urban sports scene, this is kind of new, powered by, the urban sports scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. I'm Wole. My other co-hosts, Ray and Mo and Glen, are out. But I'm joined by awesome guests. We'll wait on one in a few, but we have Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Washington Commanders reporter Donna Hopkins on the show. What's going on, Donna?
It is great to be back with you again, Wally.
It's great.
Every time I come on, the fellas don't want to come on with me. I don't know why. I'm kind of like feeling away, but that's okay because I need more time with you.
See, Donna, that's what I want to hear. We don't need them. They don't need them. They don't deserve the love. You know what I mean? They don't deserve the love, all right? They can't be in
any of these hugs or anything. Not for you, Wally.
I feel so special, Donna. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold, Errrything. Also, tweet us at Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG. What's that thing? The dash, small dash. I'm new to this. I'm new to a whole IG. I'm on a whole different IG thing. Sorry, underscore. Damn, I'm geeking. Underscore Errrything and like our All Burgundy and Gold.
I'm putting you back in the classroom. I
know. Look, I changed the whole. I had a whole new routine. I changed the Twitter thing and everything. So now I'm trying to do something fresh, and I have my routine. I'm a routine type dude. So when I'm going on my routine, I'm flowing. But when you change it, then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let me think.
Hey, when you change it, you better put that little piece of paper up in front of you until you get the flow of it.
I know that's right. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Errrything YouTube channel as well. All right, Donna, this is big time. It's the schedule. A lot of fans are hyped. This is the schedule. The schedule just revealed. The whole schedule's out. Fans are excited, obviously. I'm going to pull up the schedule right now because I have it. I sent it to you in a text. So I'm going to pull it up for myself. And here we go. Here's the schedule. All right. Week 1, Washington has the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 o'clock game. Week 2, Washington has the Detroit Lions. That game is on the road. The Jaguar game is at home. Week 3, they're at home against the Eagles. Week 4, the Cowboys at Dallas. I think that's kind of early. That's early than usual. Usually that game is late. Week 5, they have the Tennessee Titans at home. Week 6, they have the Chicago Bears. Week 7, they got the Green Bay Packers. Week 8, they got the Colts. Week 9, they have the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is back in town. This game's at home. Week 10, they have the Eagles on the road. Week 11, the Texans on the road. Week 12, I know Ray going to be hyped. They got Atlanta at home. So Ray is an Atlanta fan who's on the show. So Ray's going to talk big junk. I already know how Ray is. Week 13, they have the New York Giants. Week 15, they had a bye. Week 14. Week 15, they got the Giants again. Week 16, they got the 49ers. That's going to be a tough game. That's in San Fran. Week 17, they have the Browns, and they finish off the season, week 18, with the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, also, just jumped on Candi Waller, and Candi Waller is the CEO of Wole Sports and Entertainment. What's going on, Candi?
Hey, y'all. Hey,
Donna. Hey. Hollering up on Wally.
I know, right? Look, I'm glad to have you all. It's a reunion for me. You know what I mean? Yes, I don't go to games often. I get to see you guys again, so it's a boost. It's definitely a boost. So, just read off the schedule. So I'm gonna start with you, Donna. The first game against the Jaguars. A lot of fans are probably going to say this is a W. So, do you think this is an easy W for the Washington Commanders?
Let me just say this about the whole schedule. Nothing is an easy W. I don't care who's on the schedule for this Washington Commanders team because they have to go out on the field and put the product out there. So as people often say, don't worry about the opponent. You better worry about your own self and what you put on the field. So that's my take on the schedule as far as all the teams that you rolled off. We knew that we were going to have the divisional teams with the Giants, the Eagles, the Cowboys. You knew you were going to have all of those teams on the schedule. And then you've got Green Bay, San Francisco, and some of this, so on and so on. But for me, it doesn't matter about who this Washington football team plays. And everybody would say, oh, man, this schedule favors this Washington team because it's not all these powerhouse teams. Well, every team that you rattled off, Wally, is a tough opponent for this Washington football team that has not proved in 2 years or more that they are a championship team yet. So how can you dictate the schedule when the team, this Washington Commanders team, has to prove that they can put a good product on the field with all the moving pieces that make a great championship team? So that's my take on Jacksonville and the whole schedule. It's going to be tough for this Washington football team because we don't know who they really are yet.
Candi?
I totally agree with Donna. I'm going to be honest with you all. One of the things that concerns me is the late bye.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this team has to hold up. They have to be durable for a very long time. That bye doesn't come until like week 14. And I was like, whoa, they're going to have to be very durable and versatile and all of those things for an extended period of time. So with that, I was like, I don't feel like this is easy because exactly what Donna said, you have to show up every week and every team is going to show up 0-0 week, week one. Everybody thinking that they're going to win the Super Bowl. Everybody's team, everybody's fans, everybody going to the Super Bowl.
Everybody.
So it's going to be hard.
Hey, Candi, I don't know.
Early too.
Candi, I don't know why everybody starts off the season thinking that they're going to the Super Bowl because some of those teams should not be thinking about, I'm going to
can't do that, Donna. You can't do that. You're a competitor. You can't do that. Donna, you can't do that. You're a competitor. If you're a competitor, that's what it is. Like every year you think you're supposed to win the ball.
Hey, Wally, I try to put a winning product on the team field every time. So I can say I'm going to the Super Bowl, but that's my mind thinking that, not that I'm that great to get there. But I'll agree. Everybody's ambition is to get to the Super Bowl, to get there. That doesn't mean they're going to get there that year. Some teams are better than other teams starting off.
But I mean, like I mentioned to you before, Donna, we were talking, we were just rapping before the show went live. The Browns, the Bengals who went to the Super Bowl, folks wouldn't come out and think like they would think. I mean, no, they wouldn't. You would, if me and you were sitting having a conversation, we would be like, the Bengals shouldn't be thinking about no Super Bowl, and they end up going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So it's all if you just have that mentality and that dog. You know what I mean? And coaching, that plays a part. It can happen. But I'm with you. Like, when I look at the Jaguars, I look at a whole different team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just break down that game. You have a quarterback now who's going to get some good coaching by Doug Peterson, who coached Carson Wentz and company, and helped them get to Super Bowl with Nick Foles, right? As the guy to help them win the Super Bowl. So you know that he's good with his quarterbacks. So now he's going to have, to me, one of the most talented young quarterbacks in Trevor Lawrence, and again, he's going to get this opportunity to showcase his talent because he didn't get to do that last season coaching under Urban Meyer, who was a bad fit for him. So I think Washington, there's a lot of unknowns for Washington going against the Jaguars because it almost goes to like how the LA Chargers game last year. There was a lot of hope that they could win the first game of the season against the LA Chargers, and they didn't do it. And this game, this is another young quarterback, a guy that's highly touted in Trevor Lawrence. He has weapons too. So it's going to be difficult. It's a difficult game. It's not going to be a game that we can say Washington's going to blow this team out. Because at the end of the day, as fans, how can we even assume that? Like, what has this team shown us to say that they're that much better than the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Hey, Wally, you hit it on the nail. Urban Meyer was a bust before he even got there.
Yeah,
I don't even know why they even put him in that position because it was not going to work out from day one. And like you said, they've got a new coach in there to work with the quarterback. And you said something key. When you mentioned the quarterback, that just keeps ringing in my ear because you know how I feel about the quarterback situation.
I do.
That you got to have the right quarterback in the position. You talked about Cincinnati thought that, they make it to the Super Bowl and most people would have looked like they're not going to get there.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
They had some pieces put in place to get them there, meaning a quarterback that could get some things done. Every team that made it to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl for the most part, had what? A good trigger man under the center. And that's something that this Washington Commanders team have not got it right in how many years? I don't even have enough fingers on my hand.
Would you count Griffin or Kirk Cousins? I guess I don't know. People hate Griffin. Kirk Cousins.
I mean, they haven't really got it right still for a long time. I mean, a quarterback of the future that you can really build around this team. Yeah. So that's yet to be seen for this Washington Commanders team. Can Carson Wentz be that man to push this team farther on the offensive side of the ball? Well, I don't know yet. Even though he's a veteran, has he proven himself anywhere that he's been? No, I would say no.
It's because of injuries. I mean, he had a good run before that injury.
I'm not trying to hear that, Wally.
I'm with you. I know where you're going with Carson. Don't believe
Wally, I'm not buying Candi. I'm gonna let you jump in here too because I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that, Wally, because when Philadelphia drafted him as the number 1 draft pick, he was projected to be this major quarterback that could take that team to the Super Bowl and so on and so on. That never did happen, and I know injuries happen and so forth. And then he went to the Colts last year, and when he needed to be the quarterback that they needed him to be to push them forward in the playoff, he didn't show up. So I'm not saying that he won't be better than what they had the previous year, but I don't know how much better. I still have question marks pertaining to this offensive unit for this Washington Commanders team.
No, I think you should, because I think to your point, I mean, I like Carson. I do. I like Carson, but I don't ignore like the flaws. That's one thing I don't do, is ignore the flaws. I'm not like anybody just because he's the best. He can arguably be the best quarterback this team's had, which is not saying a lot in a while, right? That's not saying a lot. But
you
also,
said what? Did I hear you wrong?
He can be the best. He could be the
best quarterback. Oh, let me clean my ears out.
This team's had in a while, but that's not saying a lot. See what I put the caveat? That's not saying a lot. But I do think that they took a gamble. He's Riverboat Ron. He's taking a gamble. But to your point, Donna, like when the Colts needed him to step up, he didn't. You know what I mean? And he didn't play big against, you could say, lackluster competition down the stretch, where all he needed to do was have an average game, and that team was going to, make the postseason. So I agree with you, Donna. Like, there are a lot of question marks with Carson Wentz. But I have a little fear of even them getting Carson Wentz, because it's not like this for this coaching staff. It isn't like this coaching staff offensively is like a juggernaut anyway. Like when you look at the Colts, they have a lot of innovative offensive mind coaches for that ball club. So it is what it is. I don't want to get on Carson Wentz. I'm just saying, like, for this situation, this team, I'm not gonna go there, because we can talk about that all day, Donna. I know how we can rock with that. We can go about that all day. But I will say that, I just don't want fans to think like going into this situation, going in week 1, getting all hype. I'm interested to know even fans will show up for week 1 like that. That's a whole different discussion too. We can talk about that later. But week 1 going against the Jaguars, don't look at this game like it's a cupcake type of game, because it's not. The Jaguars have a bunch of first round picks too, but because they've been a bad team for how long? So they have talent now. You know what I mean? Like, they have a cure talent on that roster. So now it's, to me, if you look at coaching, you can say Ron Rivera versus Doug Peterson, who's the better coach? You just got it. One has a ring, one doesn't. So now who's gonna be more prepared in week 1? That's the real question.
I'm gonna let Candi jump on that one.
I mean, I feel like the NFL knew exactly what they were doing when they put this matchup together, because that was the team. Like I said, oh, really, NFL? This was super petty, because this is the team that got Carson Wentz traded. Like,
that too. Yeah,
that is the team that got him traded. And so the NFL put this matchup together week 1 because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I don't think it
It's
is.
really not. I mean,
I don't think it is.
everybody's sleeping on Jacksonville. I mean, but it's week 1, and so I think they're putting some pieces together. It's not a guaranteed W
It's
for
not.
the Commanders at all.
See, I like what the NFL does. I mean, they look at all these
I do
scenarios.
too. I'm not gonna
They
lie. I like what they
do.
do
They
too.
look
They
at
gotta
all these
make it.
scenarios as far
Yes,
as who
drama.
was with who traded who, and so it's almost like Washington is coming into a situation this year too. As far as who are we? We got a new quarterback under the center. We've got some new moving pieces on the offense as far as the wide receiver. I'm so glad that they drafted a wide receiver for the number 1 pick. So I'm happy about that. So they've got a lot of pieces that they're putting in place. But let me tell you this. So Candi mentioned something, and you did, Wally, about getting people in the seats. And you don't know if that will be the case. Let me just say this. I went to a hockey game, a Washington Caps hockey game, playoff game a couple of days ago. And the reason why I mentioned that, the defensive line was there with Jonathan Allen and all of those guys. Well, when they looked up into the stands, it was packed. And when they felt the energy in there, that is what's missing for this football team, is getting those people back into the stands. And the only way you're going to do that is with some W's. Definitely. You win and you get people back.
You know what would help, get people back? If you beat the Cowboys. And what's going on is, like, in week 4, Washington has the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. I think that's early. That's one of the earliest games in Dallas I've seen this team have in a while.
When I saw that.
Right. So your thoughts? Am I wrong? Is your thoughts, Candi? Like, is that one of the earliest, like, in Dallas games for the Washington Commanders?
I know they played Dallas here.
Yeah, but not in Dallas
before,
though. You know what I'm saying?
Not
in Dallas, right? Yeah.
Time. I'm like, in Dallas, week 4. I was like,
bring it on. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I guess they're gonna get it out of the way early. Like, hey.
But back in the day, some years ago,
thanks, Eric.
Washington did play the divisional teams on the front end of the schedule and then on the back end. And what the NFL pretty much did over the course of years is that they wanted these games to be at the back end because of the playoff situation. So, but to me, you should play the divisional games on the front end and the back end, because when you play them too close and everything, to me, it messes up the schedule. So I kind of like the way the NFL did this year in putting Washington and the divisional games on the front end, some playing Dallas in week number 4. Well, guess what? This is going to show you exactly who you are early on against a divisional opponent that's probably one of the better teams in the NFC East. So I kind of like that matchup early on too. And I like that Washington is going to be on the road, because I prefer them to be here on the back end if it's a playoff situation brewing.
You go early. Look at you. Well, you best. I'm gonna say if you don't come on now. Just relax. Just relax a little bit.
I didn't say no, it wasn't going to happen.
I mean, I hope it happens. Look, I don't want anybody to think I'm a negative Washington Commanders fan, so I do hope it happens. I'm just saying, Donna, let's not jinx it. But I'm with you, Donna, that I'm glad it is kind of early. I do like it. I think the earliest game I remember in Dallas, it's wild. For me, it would probably be the Santana catching touchdowns on Monday night with Mark Brunell. That's the earliest, like, I remember of like this team playing, and that was on prime time, but that was the earliest that I remember them playing in Dallas early in the season. But yeah, I prefer to have it this way. I prefer to have the division games like kind of spaced out. I don't like it all at the end, and I like it spaced out. I think that's a lot of pressure on a ball club to go through a rigorous row of your division opponents. I know some people like it. I don't. So I'm happy that they're more spaced out than other years. So I'm cool with that. I'm with you too. This team won a division last year, so you want the smoke. You want to see where you at. So if you want, so you go against the best of your division from last season. I actually think that Dallas has gotten a little weaker with some of the players they've lost in the offseason. But again,
wide receiver
wise, even some defensive players too. I think that, but at the end of the day, they did win the division last year. So they are right now, they're the champs. They're the best in the NFC East. So you want to see where you at, and you get to see it early. So, and you got to set the tone. And the most important thing is set the tone. You got to let them jokers know that we here. You know what I mean? Like, this is a rivalry, and we here. You know what I mean? So that's the most important thing. Like, get them early, and let them know, and so you can create some doubt if they see you, like you said, Donna, in a big game, the last game of the season. Put that doubt in their mind, like, oh, you couldn't beat us at your home. What you think is going to happen when you come to FedEx?
Yeah, it's some balance on the front end of the schedule and some balance on the back end because they've got San Francisco and some of those teams on the back end, and in the front end they've got Green Bay and some of those teams. So they've got kind of like, it's spread out, so they don't have time to have any hiccups because they got to start off strong right off the bat.
Yeah, Candi.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we don't see. It feels like sometimes Ron Rivera, they like to kind of ease into the season. Yeah. Like they want to kind of test the waters a little bit and see where everything is. So to you all's point, I think they need to start the season strong. It's really no time for them to be like, okay, well, let's see where things go around week 5. Like, no, you need to be, they got to be really strong. And with this being Ron Rivera's 3rd year too, this needs to be a statement year. Yes. For him and his coaching staff. Yes. I really think so. They really have to be coming out to win. And with all the conversation around Washington and Dallas having the easiest schedule.
Yeah.
They need to, if it's so easy, then you need to go out here and win.
Well, they got the easiest. It's definitely easier than it was last year. I'll say that much.
Hey, look, nothing's easy.
Oh, you Donnie, know what? You're right. You know what? We just had this discussion. We don't know.
I'm sorry,
we don't know. You're right. We don't know.
Hey, Molly, nothing's easy. But I like what Candi said. This is Ron Rivera's 3rd year, so he's had time, 2 years, to put his team together. And I look at it like this. You can't be in a marathon race, like Candi said. You got to be in a sprint race right out the blocks, you got to come across that tape strong. So I think this is his year, like Candi said, to put his stamp on things, that he put the pieces all together. Now, when you look at the whole team through the draft, did they put all the pieces that they needed together? A linebacker, a middle linebacker at that, another safety, another corner that can come in here and start right away. Do they have the depth on the offensive line? Because as you and Candi said, their bye doesn't come until almost at the end of the season. So, you look at the depth of the offensive line and the defensive line, who they let go, Ioannidis and Settles, which is their backup people. So do they have the depth on the offensive and the defensive line that, to me, is in 2 important areas of this team that makes it go beyond the quarterback, running back, wide receivers, and those positions like that? It's the offensive line and the defensive line that makes the teams go. And you saw that with the teams in the playoffs, plus the quarterback.
Don't make me fry this team. Don't make me fry this team.
It's only Wally.
Don't make me fry this team, Donna. Because I did this. People call me a hater. People call me a hater. Don't make me fry this team, Donna. Because you mentioned so much right there. You mentioned so much right there.
Candi and I are not letting you put them in the frying pan to cook.
Okay, I'm just saying. You didn't mention the draft. I have major thoughts and concerns about the draft. You didn't mention letting certain players go, which they shouldn't have let go, and then they're trying to get rid of another player that plays the same position. Don't. Oh,
they were happy about their draft, though. They were really happy about their draft, though.
They're always happy about their draft.
Well, yeah, that's true.
They're always happy. Then after the fact,
They're one of the players I wanted Washington to get.
Yes. Oh, look, I'm gonna say this again. I said this on my other show. I said this. There's a reason why Baltimore wins, and this team is where they're at. There's a reason. Baltimore don't pass up on arguably the player that they deem the best player and that's available. They don't pass up. This team does.
They took my player that I wanted here.
I'm gonna say that even the Dallas Cowboys. I hate Dallas, but I'll use this analogy. Dallas didn't need Micah Parsons. They needed a cornerback. But Micah Parsons was the best player.
Micah Parsons, I wanted him, but I'm not going to get on Dallas because you can't go wrong with Micah Parsons.
No. I'm just telling you, that's an example. Yeah. Dallas did. They got the best player available.
The best available player.
They could have got a corner, and there were some good corners in that draft.
Yeah.
They got the best player. When they got CeeDee Lamb, they didn't need CeeDee Lamb. They got the best available player. Now he's an impact player for him. So Washington had an opportunity to get the best player, and they decided to go a different route.
Because if you get the best players, even if that's not the needed position right then, you can still build because you got this player for some years and somebody that can come in immediately and make an impact like Parsons did.
I got a good one for you. I'm gonna tell you the best available player. A team that didn't need him, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings didn't need Randy Moss. They had Chris Carter and Jake Reed, but they drafted Randy Moss anyway.
He was from West Virginia, so
I hear you. But I'm just telling you, they didn't need him, but they just got him. So I'm just saying it happened. So but I don't want to get into that because I can be like with.
And it's hard in the draft because you hit and miss.
Yeah. Right. But to Candi's point, they like their draft. I'm just saying, like they like Jamin Davis last year. So I'm just saying they like Jamin Davis last year too, and then they turned on him. So I'm just saying, like,
well, I want to talk about that though because I feel like they're really pleased with their linebackers, their current linebackers.
Yeah, they have a spin.
They feel like they got
everything.
Their guy, and it's like, well, what? Look, man, I really feel like what they drafted. Like, in my opinion, they drafted like. All they needed was a quarterback.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely how they drafted
quarterback position.
That's definitely how they drafted.
And then they just put together other pieces with a lot of nice guys, which is cool because
since they had their quarterback, right?
Because they had their. I really think they really truly. Because Ron Rivera kept saying it. One thing I'm starting to learn about Ron is what he's saying is that's what he means. Like he's not. It's not like smoke and mirrors. So
he definitely means it.
Like, we're only a quarterback away. I really think he believes that.
Yeah, I think he does mean it. He thought that Taylor Heineke couldn't actually compete for a starting job too. He meant it.
Yeah,
he meant it. So I'm just saying, like,
now y'all making me try to go there. Why are you two?
I'm not even trying to put my opinions out there. I'm just saying, like, he meant it. Like, I'm just agreeing with Candi. Like, there's a lot of things that he meant. I can name a number of things he meant. Like, and it didn't. Pan out the way it was supposed to pan out. You know what I mean? Like he got Jamin Davis at 19 last year, where he could have got him in the second round, but he felt that Jamin wouldn't have been there, and he felt that Jamin can't miss at 19. He got a project and thought he can work it out, and he couldn't. So I'm just saying, Ron is a gambler. What I've learned about Ron Rivera in the draft, especially the draft. He's a gambler. Like, he's cool with gambling in the draft, like, and not getting what we may deem, and nothing's ever a sure thing, but we may deem a sure thing. He's like, nah, I believe that this player has potential and may have not done it at the highest level like the other players in the draft have, but he sees something and he says he's going to take a gamble on it. He's Riverboat Ron. That's what he do. That's what he does.
But gamble on people that are proven.
I know.
And some of the guys that they passed on were proven players, and you've seen them go to other teams, get drafted, and that first year they come out and are impactful players. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to step back, like I told you all when they got Ryan here as the quarterback. I was like, nope. I said, but I'm going to sit back and wait and see and hope that these things pan out, that this team is better with, the quarterback situation, Carson Wentz, that he does work out, that this is this team that he breaks out again and he's the quarterback that they projected him to be when they drafted him. He's not he's older now. He's been injured and all of those things, and hopefully the offensive line can be there to protect, and hopefully that the offensive coordinator can be creative to call the game the way he said that he wants to call the game, but he just did not have the guy behind the center. So now you're saying that you got that guy. Now everybody expecting to see this offense bloom into an offense that can put more than 10 points and 12 points and 15 points on the board, because it's going to take 20 plus points on that board to win games with the caliber of offenses that you see in the NFL these days.
Yeah, I agree, Donna. We'll see. We'll see. I know the offensive coordinator. He's been stating that he can't
You
do what he
making me
wants to
put
do.
my glasses on before I can see. We will see.
We
Yeah,
will
this
see.
is Riverboat year.
It's
This,
Riverboat,
this,
yeah.
this got to be his year.
All right, well,
Yeah.
he got two. Riverboat has two national TV games in week 6. In week 6, they got the Bears on a Thursday night game. Week 10, they got the Eagles on Monday night. So, are you impressed? Are you happy with the amount of primetime games this team has received?
I
I'll
think
start with
with,
yeah.
I think
Okay.
with the record, when you look at the record, because Washington is going to, despite the records, they're going to get primetime games.
Yeah, of course.
So for them to get a Thursday night game and a Monday night game, I think they have to be pleased with that. To be on national TV with the record that they had the last few years or so. So I think that they should be satisfied with those two games.
Candi?
Yeah, I think so too. It seemed like there was a lot of chatter around the Chicago game. I couldn't figure out why though. I was like, okay, well, I mean, they're playing the Bears at Soldier Field Thursday night, but I guess the whole Monday night, again, that's the whole drama. It's always a storyline, right? So Carson Wentz goes back to Philly.
That's the game,
you
right?
know,
Yeah,
like,
that's the game, the drama game.
and so that's the drama game. It's not so much with the Colts.
Yeah.
It's when Carson goes back to Philly.
The team that he started with, right, Candi?
You know what? Candi, right. The league is so petty. I love it, though. I like the league is petty. Like, it's like that real petty. It's like that real petty. If you're dealing with your significant other or whatever, or your ex or whatever you want to call it, and they get real petty. Like, that's
they need those storylines.
That's what they do, man. They real petty. Like, I just thought about everything Candi just said. They super petty. Like, they are, because, like, Jackson. I'm really starting to think Jacksonville. Carson had a terrible game with Jacksonville. The Eagles on prime time. Yeah, they were going
to put an Eagles game in there.
Who they were? I'm surprised they got the Colts. We got the Colts now. I mean, I know I read it.
Yeah, they got the Colts too.
Got the Colts. That's not prime. See, I was surprised. Petty. They real petty. Like, I don't know why. Like, that's messed up.
Hey, Wally, come on. It's the NFL. Come on.
Yeah, it is. But now we turn to a soap opera. You see what they doing, Donna? You know what I'm saying? They really be entertaining. Like, this is different. They want drama. Like, geez. You know what I mean? I mean, hopefully that's a good thing. If Carson Wentz is a competitor, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully he has his best game on that type of stage. You going against Philly, prime time, the team that lets you go, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but
the fans turned on you
in the season too, though.
Early in the season.
You know what? I don't like how the NFL waits so long to put out the schedule now. Everything seems like it has to be a big production now. Just put out the schedule. Schedule was supposed to came out in April, and they ended up putting the schedule out in middle May. And it would have come out a long time ago. And look, Candi, we kicked Wally off his own broadcast.
We kicked him off his own broadcast.
We did not want to hear what he had to say anymore, because he was part of that drama.
But no, but Donna, I said the same thing. I said I don't like how this has become such a big to-do over the schedule. Get the schedule out. It used to come out like right around the draft. It used to just get it out.
Yeah, it used to come out like, I think the week before the draft, or right there, or a couple of days before the draft,
right?
Leading into the draft, so you could see the schedule. But now you got a big production for almost everything, a breakdown. It's almost like you think you're on Broadway now with all the little stuff. You have to wait, and then you got to wait, not the beginning of the day. You had to wait to the end of the day before the schedule came out.
Yep, there were all the leaks. So then we got to sift through all of the leaks and trying to piece together everybody's schedule, only for them to drop it right at 8:00 in your inbox. Like, here it is. Like, you could have sent us this a week ago.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
But like I said, I told Wally before we started, I said that, you know what? I really look at the schedule and I see who they play, and then you move on from it, because we know how things transpire during the course of the season. You got to go out on the field and play. I mean, everybody projected this Washington team the first year of Ron Rivera. It was like, oh man, they're having a great practice. When Ryan was there as the quarterback, they had got him, and they said this team looks so great.
I got kicked off. I don't know what happened. Sorry, y'all.
You got kicked off. We didn't want to hear you anymore.
No, I think a hater done knocked me off. I don't know what happened. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
See,
we
I
just
blame
kept
you
on. We
because you
just kept
got
on
me
going.
negative. I blame you because you got me negative. That's what happened. And somebody, see, look, see, they get you. They always watching. You know what I mean? Eric says the
I
NFL
do
trying to
think Big Brother
crush
is
all
always
sports options with
watching.
production for everything. I agree with you, Eric. That's what's going on.
Yes,
Definitely.
Big Brother
Yeah,
is always
they
watching.
always watching, man. They always watch. I was like, what happened? And I'm trying to get logged back on. This is terrible. I don't know what happened. But I'm sorry. I interrupted you. What were y'all talking about? I
No,
interrupted you.
we just kind of like said that, a couple years ago when Ryan last year when they had drafted him and in training camp, it was like this team looked great in training camp. They are clicking and whatever. And then when the season started, I was like, did we see the same team we saw in training camp?
Yeah.
The defense looked like they were smoking. But I think, like I told you, Candi, you and I was talking about it. I said you have to get on the field and play to see what you've got. It's less preseason games, which I'm sure all of us is happy about that because you don't need any more than 2 preseason games really at max, or 3 at max if you need that, because they don't play the veterans that much. So they play the rookies at the first 2 games, and then the veterans come in a little bit. But I like the veterans to be in that whole 3rd game so that you know what you got going into that Jacksonville. So to me, nothing is set in stone as far as this schedule. And people say it's easier than last year. Well, last year wasn't easy for this team. So to me, you got to go out and play. And you should be worried about, as I said in the beginning, what you put on the field versus about who you play on the schedule.
Yeah, and I think they have to prep. They have to prep a little harder in the off season. I mean, in training camp, mini camp, everything has to be a little bit harder. Like I think that you got to learn from what you did last season, and you didn't go into the season the way you wanted to go into the season. So you got to you got to think about what you did in training camp and in the preseason to improve and tinker, so you can go into the season playing strong. You do not want to go into the season looking weak. Again, like it's important like Candi mentioned, it's important for Rivera to just start this season strong. It's a big season for him. I don't care what he says or whatever. This is an extreme big season for him. Not going to say he's on the hot seat, but he's on the fan hot seat, if that makes any sense.
Like I said, I'm calling it a statement year because they didn't make really any coaching changes.
Nothing.
Not really, largely. I mean, maybe, some people may have had other opportunities, but you going in, same head coach, same coordinators. All right.
Well, they do have a new trainer, and he was here. I know him, Al. He was here doing Joe Gibbs' era and everything. So he got the, that position and everything. So,
Joe Gibbs coming back? Is Joe Gibbs coming back?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just slipped. I'm about to get kicked off again. I'm sorry.
Listen,
I'm about to get kicked off again.
That's why you got kicked off before.
Yeah. That's why you got kicked off here.
I blame you because I wasn't going that route till you.
I had to just kind of like.
I felt the spirit. You put the spirit.
You know what's missing from training camps and everything back in the day when they had to put the pads on in practices, put the pads on for the most part in training camp. And now they do this little walk through stuff at training camp instead of, put on the pads and let's get into game situations. But because of the bargaining agreements and so forth, they can only have pads on a certain amount of time. Well, that's not football because everybody knows and everybody's played sports that you practice like you're going to play in game situations.
Agreed. And they need to have that Carlisle mentality.
Those were like great games.
Steelers scrimmage. They need that. That needs to be on Channel 5. All right, I'm aging myself. All right, so
me too, Wally.
Aging myself. All right, so which other games stand out to you all in the schedule? I'll start with you, Candi. Start with you.
I mean, you always got to, it's always going to be a lot of talk about the Vikings.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins coming back to DC. This is a home game, right? Let me look at how this thing works. Yeah,
it's a home game. It's a home game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, Green Bay, right? Yeah. So I was looking straight up because people think this is easy and it's not. So they got in October through November. I think the Titans,
That's tough.
At home, the Titans at home, the Green Bay at home, and the Vikings at home.
Yeah.
And let's not forget San Francisco.
Oh man, that's a
San
juggernaut.
Francisco can't never sleep on
Yeah. I think that those ones that Candi hit, that Chicago, Green Bay, even Atlanta, San Francisco.
See, Ray just texted me. He said, "Week 12, here we go again. I hope Drake balls out." He Atlanta fan. Drake, Atlanta, Atlanta draft Drake.
Oh yes,
yeah, so
yes,
Drake London.
Yes.
So all right, Ray, you got that.
Ray, tell Ray to go to bed. Tell Ray to go to bed. It's past his bedtime.
Oh man, I don't even know I think he's at work. I don't even know if he's he just texted me that. I don't know if he's even looking at the show, but I know I just saw the text. He must have just saw the schedule and got hyped. But
did the team play the Giants back to back before?
We're doing that. I mean, after the bye breaks it up. Right, but yeah, back to back.
That happened before though, didn't it?
Maybe.
And they lost both games.
Probably. The Giants has his team's number. But I'm with y'all on that stretch of games because the Titans. I mean, the Titans a little. I mean, I guess you can say they're weaker because they lost AJ Brown. But I just think that you still got King Henry. They're not weak enough. They're not weak enough. They got AJ Brown. They're not weak enough. I mean, AJ Brown. They got King Henry. Excuse me. They're not weak enough. When you got King Henry, you ain't weak. Then you got. The Bears pose a issue because, as we've all seen with this team, mobile quarterbacks give this team hell. Like the mobile quarterbacks, and Fields is one of the fastest quarterbacks in football. Forget it, whatever you think, if he can throw the rock or not. He is mobile and he can make plays. So Justin Fields could be a problem for this Washington defense unless they do certain things to scheme up improving what we've seen in the past. But even the year they were a top 3 defense, the mobile quarterbacks gave them issues, and now you're going to have one of the more mobile quarterbacks in Justin Fields. You're going against him. That's going to be a tough one.
Well, you got him, you got Chicago, and then you got to turn right around and play Green Bay. Yeah, so you got 2 back-to-back tough games. You got you got the Colts after that. So you got Chicago, Green Bay, then the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I will say this though, it's wild. I will say this though, for the Colts, I mean the Packers, for some strange reason, we don't. Aaron Rodgers doesn't blow us out. He just doesn't. He sometimes we win and he doesn't even blow us out. It's wild. Like that's for what I don't know why that is, but the Packers
you don't have to go to Green Bay.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, definitely. Because even last year they competed well against Green Bay in Green Bay. Like they competed. They didn't win, but they competed.
What did you just say? Who came out as the winner?
Oh, Green Bay did. You're right.
Doesn't matter how many points.
Right. I don't have that losing mentality. You're right, Donna. Yeah, they lost. It don't matter.
And maybe Aaron Rodgers is like showing the team a little bit of mercy. Like I don't even have.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe, but I know when he comes here though, other than that playoff game, when he comes here, he don't really catch W's. He catch L's. Like he catches a lot of L's when he comes here. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. But again, that was other than another coaching regime. So I'm not gonna even give Ron has to be Aaron Rodgers. Like Ron has to be A-Rod. Like you gotta be.
Ron gotta come out swinging. I'm telling y'all, you got enough here. You said you was only a quarterback away. You got to blow me away at this point.
But I wanted this Kurt thing. I know I talked about. You mentioned this Kurt thing is big. Like I don't There's a lot of this is big. This Kurt thing coming to DC is big. This is huge. This may be. I think other than the Cowboys game, this may be the most advertised game. This is it. Like he's very polarizing. Kurt has one side, and the other side just has so much that has hatred for him. You know what I mean? Like Kurt, this is. You know what? I'm a big believer Kurt doesn't play good in pressure situations. Do you think Kurt will play well coming back to DC? I'm starting with you, Donna.
Yeah, I think that Kirk Cousins has proven what kind of quarterback he is. I mean, it doesn't matter about. No, and I don't say that in a bad.
You did, Donna. I like the way you said that.
I don't say that in a bad sense. I don't say that in a bad sense because in Minnesota, Kurt has won for that team. And that's what I was meaning, that you know what Kirk can do as a quarterback. And he's not one of these quarterbacks that you can just toss aside to say it's Kirk Cousins. He's had some productive years up there in Minnesota and won some games for them. So, I mean, He's not going to be a Aaron Rodgers or anything like that, but he's not going to be a walk in the park either.
True,
and I'm sure that Kurt is going to come back here with something to prove that he wants to walk away as the winner when they play Washington. So I would say that it's going to be interesting, but just like Washington, Minnesota has gone through some transitions too. So they're not the same team that when he went there, that team was built to win when Kirk Cousins first went to Minnesota, and it hasn't gotten over the hump totally yet. They won games and everything. So I don't know if Minnesota is that powerhouse team as they were once trying to be or close to being when Kirk Cousins came. So it's question marks pertaining to that team also. I think that both of them come in kind of like even with their quarterback situation.
Yeah, they got. Kevin O'Connell too. I forgot Kevin O'Connell was he was here, quarterback coach.
There's a bit of a storyline with that.
Yeah, Candi, I'm going to you on that. You know what I mean? It's like another soap opera. Candi, your thoughts with this storyline? Like your thoughts with this storyline?
Because you're right. It's not necessary. Well, no, can't say that so much, right? Because Kevin O'Connell was there with Ron Rivera.
He was. Oh no, he wasn't. He wasn't. He had a chance. Ron Rivera had the opportunity to keep him. He decided
he could have kept him.
He decided to go with Scott Turner. And Scott Turner.
Could be a little salt there. Could be a little salt there.
Exactly right. The salt there. So it's always a storyline. But I'm gonna go back to, I'm putting Ron Rivera in them. This is their statement year. But I gotta put he's my runner up on this guy. Y'all better do something. This defensive line. Because Wally, you said something earlier about and Donna, you did too, about all of this defensive line. That's all we heard all training camp. That's all we saw all training camp. And then week 1 against the Chargers, we were like, where did everybody go?
Yeah.
So this has got to be Chase, Montez. Jonathan Allen. That last year was a Pro Bowl year for him. So I'm gonna let him slide a little bit.
Oh yeah, he balled.
He played. But Chase, Montez. That whole defensive line, they better come out smoking. Really,
I'll even limit it for you. I'll make it even easier for you. I think Montez, when he played, he was effective enough. He was getting like 4 sacks. He had 4 sacks in 4 games in the beginning of the season last year. I'm gonna tell you, who needs to step up. Like it is what it is. It's called it, but Chase got to step up.
Oh, Chase needs to be the impact
Chase got to be. He just can't be. He just can't be solid. He's got to be great. Like he's got to be
like a Michael Parsons. He's got
to be the Michael Parsons.
Yeah, he's got to be dominant. He got to be like a Bosa. He went to Ohio State. He got to be like a Bosa. He has to be lights out, because I know people want to hear it, but it's a fact. There's a player that came out with a lot of hoopla in the NFL draft some odd years ago, and he was super talented, super gifted, and he's not been what they thought he was going to be, and that's Jadeveon Clowney. And Chase is looking like that little by little when I'm watching him. It's like, all right, you got all the skill, you have everything, you have all the God-given ability to be one of the most dominant defensive ends in football, period. And some games when you watch him play and the way he's blocked, you're like, this shouldn't be possible. And by the caliber of tackles that he's being blocked, I don't care if it's a double team. I always tell folks, like, when you a dog, you going to get double teamed, but you still find a way to get through. Yeah. You don't think the Bosas don't get double teamed? You don't think Von Miller wasn't getting double teamed? Yeah. You don't think Reggie White wasn't getting double teamed? You don't think Lawrence Taylor wasn't getting double teamed? Like, if you're supposed to be that dude, then you got to be that person. Like, you got to be that person. You can't just say, oh, man, he's got double team. They rolling cover. They rolling protection to him. When you're that guy, that's what they do. That's what they do. Like, and if you to even up it up some more, you didn't name the talent on this defensive line. So to be honest with you, in different situations, some of them have less talent and they still doing it. This team is stacked on the defensive line with talent, and you're still having games where you're getting blocked by people that I don't even know at left tackle. Mm-hmm. I don't even know at right tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Like, it's either Chase gotta, step up in terms of his skill set as a pass rusher, or the defense, or Jack Del Rio got to do more to make it easy for him. You know what I'm saying? To make him easy for him to get pressure. But yeah, he's gonna have to step up. This has to be not on that defensive line. It's got to be Chase. I know he come
People
off
got to
injury,
be
but it got to
scared
be
of him, and
Chase.
wasn't nobody scared of him last year.
Yeah, you got to
They
be
weren't
it.
scared of Chase.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just be a guy. Like, that's the thing. You just can't be a guy. It's cool to be a guy if you're William Bradley King. It's cool to be a guy. Like, yeah, you do your job, but you gotta be an assassin out there. You gotta be a killer on that defense, and you gotta be growing up. Like, you gotta be a Charles Mann. You gotta be a Dexter Manley. Like, you gotta be those dudes. Like, you got every time you get out there. Yeah, the coaches could say worry about him on the game plan. They say worry about him, but when it comes on 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you get a primetime game 8:30, 8:20. When you suit up, play 1, 2, 3 on the defense, you got to be there.
Yeah, and then they've got to be able to put the defense in the right position defensively. That whatever the scheme is, the right scheme for the talent that they've got. So we talked about a 3-4 when they should have had a 4-3 some years back before Doria got here, because they didn't have the talent to be in a 3-4. So they went into a 4-3 last year, which they should have, or the last couple of years, which they had the talent for a 4-3 defense, but they didn't have some of the back pieces as far as the linebackers and some of those moving pieces that they needed too. So it's along with Chase stepping up and being that player that they drafted him to be, and some of the other ones across the defensive line, and the fact that you lost Ioannidis, which to me was that major center that made things happen for this defense, and Settles that you got those two guys gone now. So who are you plugging in those positions to replace those other guys? So it's going to come back to the guys being able to study their opponents and know how they're going to scheme them, and it comes down to the defensive coordinator and his scheme, in situations and the adjustments. To me, this team did not adjust in the second half in any situation on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. To me, they did not adjust to make the adjustments. Other teams made adjustments on them, but I didn't think that they did a good job of adjusting after halftime in situations when they were down. So it's a lot of pieces to me that needs to be put in this puzzle to make it all fit together. And I'm not for sure that they've got all those yet. Will they be better? Then I'm one of those people. Prove me wrong. That's I want people to prove me wrong, because I want this team to succeed and be successful. When I was going to those Super Bowls, and they were winning those Super Bowls, everybody wants to see this team improve from the last 2 years. And like Candi said, this is a statement year for a lot of not only, I think, Ron Rivera, but the defense and the offensive coordinator in Turner and Jack Del Rio. So it's a lot of pressure on them to make things happen this year.
I mean, and I think Scott Turner got a extension.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I guess he's set. I guess he's set. But yeah, there's a lot. Like I agree with you, Donna. Like a lot of these dudes gotta prove their point. I know I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good.
You're not making me go there. You're not making me go there.
People get extensions with a porous offense. I'm just sorry. I just can't even do it. But you know what? I can't even do it. I can't even hold that one in. It just kills me. It's like if folks get mad at me. Well, Scott Turner never had he never had a quarterback. All right, he got caught.
A lot of people haven't had quarterbacks on other teams, and they they moved it forward.
Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo got to the Super Bowl. And got to the Super Bowl. And got to the Super Bowl.
Y'all, statement year.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Look at each other at practice, and I'm gonna be like, statement year.
All right, we're gonna wrap the schedule thing up. Give me a record, then when you looking at the schedule, and then Donna, you don't care about schedules like that for real, but looking at the schedule, just play with me, Donna. Give me a record.
I would say a 9 and a 7.
Oh no, it's 18. No, it's one more game, Donna. You have one extra game now.
I'm gonna say 9.
9 and 8.
Yeah, 9 and 8.
All right, what's up? 9 and 8. It's legit. I should have just like really broke this schedule down. But go ahead, Candi. You're
Oh
next.
wait, I'll give them 10. What is it? So it would be 10-7. I'll give them 10-7.
10-7.
And that's
They
me
won
being
7
very
games.
nice.
They won 7. They won.
That's me being very kind.
I know they won 7-10 last year because Ron is average. I like to do a math. I like to be I feel like I'm a mathematician in life.
Very nice.
And like
I'm
to
not
be,
good at math.
I was really good at math growing up. Then I just stopped. But then I like money, so I got better.
I didn't like math, but I like money.
I like money. Who don't like money?
I know how to add up money, but I don't like math.
Look, we black folk know how to add up money. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, they went 7-10 last year. I'm putting elements to it. It's easier.
I'm about to say something though.
Go ahead.
Because I remember hearing Ron Rivera say in an interview that there was a difference in about 3 or 4 games due to quarterback play. All right, it's a statement yet in, Ron. So I'm gonna give you your 3 other games. That's why I'm giving them 10.
Man, Ron chose violence. I'm not gonna get into Ron. He chose violence. All right, here we go. I know what you, Candi. I know what you say, Candi. No, your thought process is correct, but Ron chose violence. I don't want to hear about his quarterback thing. He chose violence. I'm gonna keep that a buck. He chose violence. Oh, all right. 7-10. Things got easier schedule. He's got a better quarterback than he's had before. Yeah, 10-7. I'm gonna go 10-7. I'm a rock with Candi. I'm gonna go 10-7. And I'm trying to be a fan on that one. That's a fan 10-7. That's a fan 10-7.
Yeah, I was just looking while y'all were talking. I was looking back over the schedule, and I was looking at teams that I was giving them sure wins and everything, and I couldn't squeeze any more in.
Sure wins.
I mean, sure wins meaning that I'm giving that to them as okay, I think they could get this game, get this game.
I mean,
then I looked at that stretch as far as Tennessee, Chicago, Green Bay, and Colts and Minnesota, and I was like, wow, that's a hard one right there.
See, all right, so the Minnesota game is winnable because they don't have the same defense anymore, so it's not the same Minnesota defense.
But I gave you 4 more.
All right, I know. I'm trying to the Packers, the Bears is winnable. I'm not gonna lie, it's winnable. I just think that they did trade Khalil Mack, so they don't got the same defense either. The Bears defense even is as good as it used to be.
They playing in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago's not scary to play anymore. We thinking about the old Chicago Bears.
Then you talking about their quarterback?
I did. He could run, but he can't throw right now. And they traded and they let Allen Robinson ain't there no more. They ain't got no wide receivers. Well, they got okay receivers. They don't got nothing. They're not scary, but I don't. To me, this is the thing. I'm gonna be real. Like this is my when I look at the schedule. Yeah, like my schedule last year. The reason why I'm not. The schedule doesn't scare me. Well, the schedule does scare me. The reason why the schedule scares me if I'm a Washington fan is because it's coaching. Like, I'm a big believer about coaching. Like, I don't know if these dudes will be prepared and they may against some of the poorer teams or even the good teams. I don't know about preparation
this year.
Huh? What you say? You bet Ribbo? Yeah, you can.
And
see, that's cool. Like, I'm a track record. Like, you got, like, I'm like Donna with this aspect. You got to prove it to me. So I got to see it in week 1. Like, week 1 is where I can get a better. I'm not going off preseason. I'm not going off camp talk. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go off week 1. And if I see week 1 that they flying, they look like they know their assignments, then I know it's coaching. And then I can be like, all right, I'm comfortable with going with this record. You know what I'm saying? But really, just because the schedule is a certain way, we've seen this team play against certain teams last year where they weren't better. Like, these teams weren't better than them, and they were struggling. They got like even I'll use Atlanta. They should have lost the game to Atlanta. Like, Tanner Heineke just threw the ball up and got into McKissick and got a touchdown. Like, that was luck. That wasn't. Atlanta was bad going into that game, and we made them look like Matt Ryan look like he was retro rap Matt Ryan. The Giants game, the one in FedEx, where we got the offsides for the kick for the field. The Giants were horrible the week before.
They were.
The beginning of the season, they looked horrible. We made Daniel Jones look good. So for me, I gotta look. So when I look at this team and thinking about a record, I'm going 10-7 because my heart is like, 10-7 feels good. Like,
I'm putting my heart out of the equation.
Thank you. You're good.
Because what I want to do is I break down the team as far as I want to see how the quarterback play is. I want to see if they're going to run the ball more than they have in previous years. I want to see how the linebacker play is, the middle linebacker play. I want to see how the safety position is, since you don't have what's
Kyle Hamilton from
no,
Notre
not
Dame.
Cal Hamilton.
Him.
The veteran that didn't sign back. Gosh,
Landon Collins.
Landon
They making
Collins.
him back. They making him back.
Yeah, so I mean, if he wants to come back and take that pay cut, so I'm looking at assessing the defensive line and offensive line play. I want to see how that all is in the beginning. So I have to assess this team, come, the preseason, and they're not going to play much, but I want to assess them the first 3 games of the season, and I'll be able to tell a little bit more, because it's unknown right now as far as a lot of the areas I just mentioned. The quarterback, we know that he's a veteran, and we know, that he was playing in Philadelphia. He played with the Colts, but he hasn't blossomed into that quarterback that they projected coming out the draft. So I want to see how he comes in and plays with this team. I want to see how Scott Turner's offense is different with him. And I want to see how they institute the offense, because I think the defense, we know the players on the defensive side, but we still want to see how all the pieces are put together as far as the other receivers with Terry. We want to see if, Cam and all of those guys can step up receiver-wise. If Curtis Samuels, if Curtis can come back and be healthy. So you want to be able to see all those pieces that to me haven't been connected yet, to see how they're going to play on the field. So you can have a lot of people on paper. Paper looks good. I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's solid. But until it goes on the field and you see it work together, paper don't mean nothing to me.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, I gotta see
less is money.
Yeah, less is money. Yeah, you're right. Green is always great. I need to see week 1. But I'm gonna go 10-7. But I need to see week 1, because week 1 will let me know if we doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want, like, that's the thing. I want fans to, like, really, it's cool to be a fan and be a fanatic and all that good jazz, but don't be blind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I just want fans not to be blind. A lot of fans, as soon as the coach talks a good game, where they go on YouTube and look at a clip of a rookie and whatever, they start falling. If the initial thought was bad, and then all of a sudden they fall in love, and it's like, oh, this is a good drive, or this is a good pick, or this is a good free agent, or this coach can coach and whatever. Like, look at what other NFL teams are doing, and then you could then assess your team, and then I'm talking about winning organizations, not losing organizations, winning organizations, and see how they draft, see how they get free agents, see how they, get coaches, and then come back and tell me if this team is doing the right things to win football games.
Did y'all hear what the former quarterback said, RG3? Today?
Yeah, I heard he said contender. He said Super Bowl contender. But see, my question is has he won a Super Bowl? Has he been to the Super Bowl? So how do you know what a Super Bowl contender is?
And he said the best roster in at least 10 years. He said it's the best roster in at least
for
the
Washington?
last 10 years. So I guess he's saying it's the best roster since he was
for here. Washington.
That was 10 years ago. Yeah.
Their best roster in 10 years. Was Deshaun Jack? Deshaun was back. Deshaun and Pierre Garçon.
With Kurt.
And Kirk, that's the best roster they've had offensively. That was the best roster. They had like 3 receivers. Jameson, Crowder.
Is he trying to come back to his team? Is that why he's saying that?
Yeah, probably. So he's trying to get cool points. Because he just ran a 4.4, and everybody hyped he ran a 4.4. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I can't say that. I think Deshaun, like, offensively, like that offensive roster they had with Kurt, with Deshaun, Pierre Garçon, Jordan Reed, Crowder, that team was uber talented. That team offensively,
that was a wide receiver
core with one of the best tight ends. I'm sorry, that was. If you want to be honest, and then you had Trent at left tackle. If you want to be honest, that's probably the most talented team they had. I don't know what he's talking about. Defensively, they weren't that great. I ain't gonna lie, but offensively,
on the offensive side of the ball, they
were great. Defense, they were bad. I know they were bad. They weren't. They don't got the talent that this team has, this unit has, but they still had they had Ryan Kerrigan, they had somebody, they had folks doing stuff.
I mean, they weren't at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, as I'm saying, they weren't the bottom at the barrel, so that's why I'm like, I don't know. RG3 be talking. He talk a lot. I don't know. But I get hey, if he wants to give this team compliments, that's what's up. He trying to get cool points. He tried to write a book that got canceled.
I mean, it's good that he's giving them after he tore them down.
Yeah, because he tried to write a book and it got canceled. Now I guess he got to find a new thing to do.
Find new material.
I guess he's trying. Hey, Candi and Donna, thanks for being on the show. Let our listeners know what you have coming down the pike and how they can catch you on social media. I'm gonna start with you, Candi.
Well, you all can catch me on Bowie Television on Fridays at 1:30. That's Fios Channel 11 and Comcast Xfinity Channel 77. And as always, on Wole Sports and Entertainment on Facebook, Wole Sports on Instagram, and at Wole SE on Twitter. You can always catch the live Facebook show on Thursdays at 7:30.
All right, Glenn, you're right. Yeah, he was on the Ravens. You're right. Yeah, RG3 was on the Ravens, so he knows what the contender looks like. I'll take that back. I apologize. All right, Donna, you're next.
As always, Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus, and Tony and I are just starting a podcast. It's called In the Minute. It's entertaining, always with Tony, entertaining, and it's about just anything as far as sports related, life related, and all of those things. It's In a Minute with Tony and myself. And then you can catch me on other platforms, HBCU Go. I've been doing tennis, MEAC tennis, been doing CIWA track. And then just this weekend, I'll be doing the MEAC outdoors track and field on HBCU Go. So you can catch it there. So never a dull moment.
That's dope. Hey, it's in the works of trying to interview the MEAC commissioner for our shows. We working on that.
Excellent person.
Yeah, she's her story is pretty dope. So we want to get her on the show just to chat it up. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Also tweet us at Errrything and hit us up on IG at ABG_. See, Donna? Errrything. And we're All Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. Hey, Dom, I'm getting better. Make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything YouTube channel as well. Hey, this has been a dope show. Appreciate Donna.
Hello, Coach Rivera. Coach Rivera. Oh yeah. You know what? Andy Waller and Molly was talking this trash about you. Yeah. Okay, I'll let him know, Coach.
All right, I was being nice. I was being nice.
My money on Riverboat.
Candi was being the nice one. Real talk. Candi was the nice one. She said she put her money on him. See, Donna, you was on my team. See, now you try. I see what you did, Donna. Now you trying to jump off the boat. I see what you just did right there. All right, hey, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, 4 ages. You dig? Deuces. A mega. Lead us out, big homie.
Peace.